deeper.
In today's video, we're gonna be unboxing, setting up, and reviewing this little guy right here, which is the HiDock H1 GPT-powered audio dock, which is supposedly an AI desktop voice recorder, but we're gonna find out. I'm Eric J. Coons, and welcome to my little place on the internet where I like exploring products, places, and ideas with you. Let's check this thing out. Actually, you know what? Unboxings can get kind of boring, so let's just see what's in there. And bam, here is all of the accessories that it comes with. So, of course, you've got the HiDock itself, which I actually haven't seen. I wanted to open it on camera with you. Let's take it out. It comes with a nice cloth sleeve that keeps it safe. And here is the HiDock. It looks really good. It's got all these different buttons that we're gonna find out what they do a little bit later. And then you've got the speaker that I'm guessing this is also the speaker and where it's recording and listening to you. And then on the back, you've got all of these ports, which again, I was most excited about. You've got your Ethernet port, you've got your USB 5 gigabits per second, you've got your USB 10 gigabits per second, you've got your USB-C 10 gigabits per second, you've got your HDMI 2, your HDMI 1, your USB-C, and then of course your 20 volt 7.5A DC in. Swiveling from the back to the side, you've got your pairing Bluetooth button. You've got an 18-watt USB, oh my goodness. And then you've also got micro SD and an SD card slot if you want to record it directly onto some SD cards. As far as cords go, it looks like you've got a USB to USB-C cord, you got a C to C cord, and then you've got this, which I believe is what actually plugs this baby in. And here's the other part to what plugs this in. Pretty easy setup there. And then you've got the HiDock Quick Start Guide, which I am definitely gonna need because I feel like this thing can do quite a bit. You've also got this little thing that plugs in right here on the side. I believe that is what's gonna charge up your earpiece, which it also comes with an earpiece. So I've actually done other AI voice recorder reviews on this channel, and so far this one is the best engineered, it feels the best quality, and it actually feels like you're getting your money's worth. But we won't actually know until we test it, so let's go do that.
This is a test.
For this test, I'm actually going to test it in a bunch of different ways, but I don't want this video to be 400 hours long. So I'm only gonna do one on screen and show you what the transcriptions look like if I end up making it work, or if it works the way that it promises to, which will be me reading from my book out loud to check how good the recording is on this and how good of that it can hear. And I'm gonna have a bunch of noises because I'm actually gonna time it perfectly with when I have the people come and mow the yard outside. Plus, my dog is definitely gonna bark when that happens. And so we're gonna see with a mixture of all those things how well this can still pick up my voice and actually translate everything that I'm gonna say. So in this test, I am going to read the first chapter of my book. If you wanna check it out, it's called The Very Strange Universe of Dr. Natalia Zeal. It's down in the description below. But with enough selling my book to you, let's test it out and let's read chapter 1 and see how it does. So that's what I did. I read the first full chapter of my book out loud. Lots of sounds. But it's a good test. All I had to do was press the check mark for 2 seconds to start the recording, and then press it again for 2 seconds for it to stop. All recordings will record locally on the HiDock itself. To easily transfer them off, you're going to want to create an account in HiNotes from their website. This is what your dashboard will look like, and here's where your recordings will go. Then, if you plug the HiDock into your computer, you can click connect on the left and boom, you're connected and you can transfer your recordings over. Now, let's see how the HiDock did with recording and summarizing the first chapter of my book. Here is the transcriptions. Let's see how close it got. So speaker 1, transmission start. Good evening and thank you for tuning in. I'm your host. And today I have one of the oddest and most important stories I've ever told on this program. Scroll down a little bit. Global factors, the further continued. Okay, so as I'm reading through this, it did capture it pretty well. It missed a couple words, but that could have also been because sometimes when I was reading, I like mispronounced a word because I'm just not that great at reading aloud. That could have been it as well. But for the most part, this did really well transcribing exactly what I said. I also want to test out what it sounds like because it also records your voice so you can just listen to the full recording back if you want to as well. And most important stories I've ever told on this program. As a disclaimer for those of you leaving, it seems like the microphone in this picks it up actually really well. So let's check out the key learnings section, because this is gonna be where it actually breaks it down and it gives you sort of this advanced transcription and summary. Key learnings, Dr. Natalia Zeal, spelled Zeal wrong, but I can't really fault it for that. It's a weird word. Dr. Natalia Zeal, a well-rounded scientist, developed cryonics research in 2089 to preserve human thoughts and attributes after death. Number 2, due to global population growth, Natalia partnered with Sumitomo AI Robotics to create cyborgs and probability, curvature drive, and radiation deflection shields for space travel. Pretty good, and it's also really cool that it added in emojis for each one. That's just like an extra added bonus. Outline, Dr. Natalia Zeal's cryonics research, cryonic research for preserving human consciousness, population growth challenges, advanced space travel. That is super impressive. And then it also gives you a homework assignment. Reflect on the ethical implications of transferring human consciousness to artificial bodies. I had to think about the ethics of that a lot while writing it. Okay, so that is really cool. Due date, next class, reading materials. This could be really helpful for a teacher as well. You could read something out and then have it create the tests and quizzes that you're gonna give your kids. Or if you're a kid or you're a college student or you're just a human trying to learn something, you could go on here and it can give you homework assignments.
I'll be right back with the real review.
All right, so I spent a few more hours with the HiDock H1 to see it in action with a bunch of other different tests, including a meeting, trying to use this little thing right here on my ear and walking around and seeing how it records. And here are my thoughts, pros, cons, and suggestions for the HiDock team. So number 1, it's really easy to set up as long as you're not in Safari. I had a lot of issues trying to work with HiDock and get the recordings transferred over, but that was mainly user error, and it was because I found out from the company that it only supports Chrome. It doesn't support Safari. So that was my issue. Once I switched over to Chrome, it worked perfectly and it was set up super easy. The Bluetooth connects like that and it's all good. Number 2, and this is probably most important when you're reviewing a product, it does what it says it does. Everything that it markets, it is really good at. It's got really high quality speakers. The recording mechanism in it is amazing. As you saw in the reading section, I even tested it out with like people mowing my yard outside, and then my dog started going crazy and it still transcripted my chapter pretty well, other than when I messed up talking, or rather reading.
Idiot.
And the advanced summary on this is super impressive with like the emojis that it adds in and just how it shows you the recording right next to where it shows all of the script, which was pretty accurate. Now, one of the things that I found that was a little bit hard to use, I suppose, is this. I don't really like things on my ear other than maybe Apple headphones because they just fit in really nice. I don't like ones that go really deep in generally. But when wearing this, it's not too uncomfortable. I'm still not a huge fan of it. To be perfectly honest, I probably wouldn't use it much, but for people that do like to have things on your ears and you want to walk away from your desk, it is helpful. One thing that I kind of ran into that was an issue was I tried to make up a couple phone calls, one to my mom, one to my wife, one to one of my friends, and the issue was that I kept accidentally hitting the mute button on here and it kept muting my phone call. But I mean, if you're just cognizant of that, then it won't be an issue for you. Otherwise though, the recordings did come through really well. Now, another plus that I didn't mention in this, but I thought I would mention because I think it's really cool, you can also share from it, like from the HiDock software out to social, so that if you wanted to share some sort of transcription from like a call that you did or maybe a show you did or whatever it is, maybe you did a TED Talk and you want to share the summary with people, you can easily just take that and share straight from their software. Overall, I think it's a really cool product. Now, if you want to pick up your very own HiDock H1, I will leave a link down in the description below for you to go and pick one up for yourself. Also, huge shout out to the HiDock team for letting me review this and sending it to me to review. Also, before you go, I do want to mention yet again, I do have a book, The Very Strange Universe of Dr. Natalia Zeal. If you want to pick it up, I'm going to leave a link to it in the description below for you to do so. And right up here, I'm going to leave my last AI video that I made if you're interested in it. My name is Eric J. Coons. I'll see you guys in the next video. Oh yeah, also hit that subscribe button if you're interested in subscribing and seeing more content like this. I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.